It feels almost impossible to imagine Hollywood without Diane Keaton. That familiar smile, that unmistakable voice, that quirky charm that made her unlike anyone else. Today, the world says goodbye to a legend, Diane Keaton, who has passed away at the age of 79. And though she may be gone, her spirit, her laughter, and her art will never fade. Before we dive into her extraordinary story, her rise, her battles, her love for life, make sure you're subscribed to CelebSpill, where we celebrate the lives and legacies of the stars who shaped Hollywood. Hit that subscribe button and let's honor Diane together. Diane Keaton wasn't just an actress. She was an energy, a force of nature that moved through every scene she touched. Born Diane Hall on January 5, 1946 in Los Angeles, California, she grew up with dreams as big as the city itself. But even from a young age, Diane wasn't like everyone else. She didn't fit into the molds that others tried to place her in, and she didn't want to. Her journey to stardom began on the stage, in the original 1968 Broadway production of Hair. It was there that Diane first began to understand the power of performance, the connection between actor and audience. She wasn't looking for fame, she was looking for truth, and somehow that honesty made her unforgettable. Soon, Hollywood came calling. But even then, Diane's path was far from predictable. In the early 1970s, she auditioned for a film she knew almost nothing about, The Godfather. She once said she hadn't even read the book and didn't quite understand what she was there for. But fate has a funny way of finding people. She landed the role of Kay Adams, the woman who would fall in love with and be devastated by Michael Corleone, played by a young Al Pacino. Funny enough, Diane was cast before Al was even chosen. She was standing there the day they brought him in, and when the two read together, something electric happened. That chemistry helped secure Al Pacino's role and launched one of the most legendary pairings in film history. The Godfather was just the beginning. The film became one of the most iconic movies ever made, and Diane's quiet power as Kay made audiences sit up and take notice. But she wasn't done yet, not even close. The mid-1970s brought her collaboration with Woody Allen, where she starred in Play It Again, Sam, Sleeper, and then the movie that would define an era, Annie Hall. In Annie Hall, Diane was magnetic. She wasn't just acting, she was Annie, awkward, funny, vulnerable, authentic. The role earned her the Academy Award for Best Actress in 1978, and suddenly, Diane Keaton became a household name. Her iconic wardrobe, oversized blazers, wide-brimmed hats, and ties became a cultural phenomenon. She wasn't trying to start a fashion trend, but she did, because Diane was always unapologetically herself. She once said, "I like my curiosity, I like seeing." And that curiosity led her to constantly reinvent herself, not just as an actress, but as a woman navigating fame, art, and identity in a world that expected her to be something else. Through the 1980s and 1990s, Diane built a filmography that few could rival. Manhattan, Reds, Father of the Bride, Baby Boom, The First Wives Club, The Family Stone, each one showed a different side of her, a different way of telling the truth. But behind the laughter and charm, Diane was also deeply introspective. She once said, "You do a movie and then it's done, and you're done. Goodbye." It was her way of saying she didn't hold on to fame or success. For her, art was about the moment, not the memory. And maybe that's why she never quite cared about the idea of a legacy. When asked about it once, she said, "I don't think about a legacy at all. It's over. Done. We did that. Moving on." But the interviewer pushed back, and rightly so, because how could Diane Keaton not have a legacy? She was told, "That's ridiculous. You just put your feet in cement. Do you know how many people come to Hollywood with a dream and never make it? And you did. That's your legacy." And that's the truth. Diane's legacy isn't just in her movies, it's in her spirit, her refusal to conform, her ability to laugh at herself, her willingness to be both fragile and fierce at the same time. Even as she aged, she never hid from time. She embraced it, silver hair, wrinkles, all of it, and made aging in Hollywood look like a badge of honor. She once joked that she was an oddball who made strange choices, and yet, that's exactly what made her unforgettable. Away from the spotlight, Diane's life was filled with love. Not necessarily romantic, but maternal. She never married, but found immense joy as a mother, adopting 2 children, Dexter and Duke. They were her heart, her home, her reason to keep seeing the world with wonder. She once said that the most precious thing in her life was the act of seeing, observing the world, and finding beauty in it. I think of everything in my life that's had such an effect that is priceless, she said, and it continues to be. Seeing. That's the gift of all gifts. And that's who she was. A woman who saw. She saw the beauty in imperfection, the humor in heartbreak, the poetry in being human. Diane Keaton taught us that you can be powerful without being perfect, that you can be soft and strong at the same time. She wasn't afraid to be silly. She wasn't afraid to be serious. And she wasn't afraid to be herself, even when Hollywood tried to make her someone else. From her early days in The Godfather to her later years in films like Something's Gotta Give and Book Club, Diane remained magnetic. She could make audiences laugh, cry, and fall in love, often in the same scene. Her friends and co-stars have described her as generous, hilarious, and utterly original. Al Pacino once said that Diane brought light to every room she walked into. And that light, even now, will never go out. No cause of death has yet been revealed. Her family has asked for privacy during this time, but as fans, we can honor her in the way she'd probably love most, by watching her films, laughing at her jokes, and celebrating her spirit. Diane Keaton was one of a kind. She lived her life on her own terms, loved deeply, laughed loudly, and never stopped exploring what it means to be alive. And while she may have believed there wouldn't be a legacy, we know better. Her legacy is written in every line she ever spoke, every smile she ever gave, and every heart she ever touched. Soft music swells, gentle piano and strings. Diane Keaton, thank you for the stories, the laughter, the honesty, and the magic. You were never just an actress. You were an experience. Rest in peace, Diane. You'll forever be our Annie Hall, our Kay Adams, our muse, and our friend. And to everyone watching, remember to subscribe to CelebSpill for more heartfelt tributes and stories of the stars who've shaped our world. Until next time, hold close the ones you love and keep seeing the beauty, just like Diane did.